Welcome to the Management Advantage, where we want to help you gain the advantage through proper land management. With your hosts, Richard Tharp and Chuck Sykes, who are dedicated to sound wildlife management practices and principles that will help both landowners and sportsmen get the optimum potential from their land. Folks, we would like to hear from you concerning any questions or comments you may have for us. You can reach us through our website at www.wildlife-management.com. We will be looking forward to hearing from you.
Welcome to the Management Advantage. Last week we showed you how to construct a winter food plot, and also Kevin Harding of Motorola taking a whipping from a Browning with a K-Lee scope. This week we're going to try to give him a chance to redeem himself.
Yeah, we're going to give Kevin one more crack at it, and after his hunt, we're going to show you how to create the proper habitat around this food plot. We weren't blessed with pines, honeysuckle, and greenbrier already in place, so we're going to have to create it. We're going to bring the bulldozers in, cut fire breaks and roads around it. Then we're going to bring a helicopter in for our aerial herbicide to eliminate all the unnecessary woody vegetation out here. We're going to burn it to clean up the area a little bit, to make a good seed bed for our pine trees. Then we're going to plant pines in it to create that feeding and bedding cover that's necessary along these food plots. But for right now, we're going to go along with Kevin and see if he can redeem himself on his second opportunity at a management doe.
All right, we're back up in the tree ground for round two here. I've patched myself up a little bit, short of stitches, and got a sandbag and gonna try to actually hurt the deer more than I hurt myself this time. Coming up.
Looks like a little nubbin. Hold on. Yeah. Do not shoot.
You're right. You're right.
Do
I see
not
it.
shoot.
I got it.
All right, let's check out this next one. That's probably its mama right there coming in. She's smelling where we walked.
Yeah, that's definitely nothing.
All right, there's two more coming.
I saw I might have pulled on that.
All right, you got a wide and come in at the other end. Good gracious, that's a deer. Holy smoke. Look at them deer walking up that road smelling where we were. There's some huge does up there on that hill. I mean some horses.
About a 140 up there.
Yeah. Good gracious, that's a deer. They still coming in.
Okay.
Let's see if that little old buck will run them down here a little bit closer. Just keep your eye on her.
Fuck it, let's do it.
Oh, she's turned wrong. Just give her a minute. Right in the shoulder.
did this one without cutting myself.
Yep.
It's been a good day. It's been a good afternoon out here at the Circle Inn in the first annual Motorola Management Deer Hunt. My father's taken in 2 deer this afternoon. I just dropped my second, and we got another coworker out here who's pulled down 1 this morning and 1 this evening.
Don't go away. Chuck and Rick will be right back.
Well, I believe Kevin did just a little bit better this time.
He shot a little bit better, and that Band-Aid right across his nose helped cushion the blow on that second shot.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you were going to create the perfect habitat around this food plot. Well, tell us, just how did you do that?
All right, to tell you that, we're going to have to take a step back in time a little bit. The first and foremost, you have to create access to a piece of property. If you're going to manage it, you got to be able to get in there to it. So the first thing we did, Archie brought the bulldozer down, unloaded it, and we cut our road system in. Now the road system is going to serve several purposes. First of all, it's access to us. Second of all, it's going to serve as fire breaks when in a month or 2 we would have to burn it. And thirdly, it's going to serve as a sight line for our helicopter pilot when he comes in to spray. We're going to outline our areas to spray where he doesn't let it drift over into our hardwood SMZs.
What does SMZ mean?
SMZ is a stream-side management zone. That helps preserve water quality, wildlife habitat. That's what you see running down both sides of this food plot, or SMZ.
Well, Chuck, now that we've got the road systems and the fire breaks in place, what's our next step?
Next step is bringing the helicopter pilot in and spraying all these sweet gums and hickories and stuff that we don't want out here shading out the pine trees and honeysuckle.
I'm gonna tell you what, when he came in here with that helicopter, I thoroughly enjoyed watching him. You talking about some precision piloting, especially when we were above him, watching him fly, the man knew what he was doing.
Yes, he did, and he's got a GPS system in there with a monitor that he can watch everything, and every time he sprays across, it colors in. So if he misses a strip 10 yards wide and 50 feet long, when he gets through, he just looks at his screen and he can go back and hit that same strip. So you're not wasting any chemicals by overlap, and you're not leaving a strip out in the middle. I mean, those guys know what they're doing.
Hey Lee, how you doing again?
Good to see you, Alan.
Great. What kind of rates do you want us to put on this site?
What we're going to be spraying is this area right in here. We're going to leave this drain for a stream-side management zone for the wildlife. We're going to be spraying this area for site prep with 48 ounces of chopper. We're trying to leave a lot of food for the wildlife, and while we take out the competing vegetation, the sweet gums, that sort of thing.
It's no problem. We'll mix it right up and get on it.
Stick around, the Management Advantage will return shortly.
Now that we have the spraying completed, let's go join Chuck as he shows us the proper site prep burning technique.
We've already got our fire break and our backfire down on the south end of this clear cut. So now what I'm doing is running a head fire. You can see the wind gets pretty hot. The wind's coming out of the due north, and it's going to push this on through. Usually don't run this hot of a fire, especially when you're burning an understory burn in big timber. But since we're out here on this clear cut, we're trying to kill everything out here so that we can replant. So we want it to get as hot as we can. So that's the reason we're using the wind to help us push it on through there and get as hot and intense a burn as we can get. I want to take a minute and show you exactly what I'm talking about a head fire versus a backfire. I'm right over here. We're getting something that you can tell the wind's blowing out of the north. And if I'm going to run a backfire, when I drop this right here, you can watch the fire start to split. That's a head fire running that way. You can see the flames are 2 feet high. That's a backfire backing into the wind. Flames are only about 6 inches high. That's how you can regulate the intensity of your fire, is either burning with or burning against the wind. If you want a nice, cool, understory burn, you back it into the wind and it just destroys the dust layer. It burns the top of the ground to let the sunlight in, but it doesn't get so hot as to scorch a canopy. So that's the difference between a head fire and a backfire. Burnt that one to a crisp. This pretty much did what we wanted it to do. It wasn't a whole lot of fuel out here, but it burnt as good as we could ask for. All these trees like this, they've had it. All we were trying to do was kill the residual pine stand. So when we plant our improved loblollies in another week or two, they won't have all this competition. Now all of these trees right here, they're real yellow in the top. It got hot enough to kill the terminal bud. This tree right here, it's still got a little green. It might not have killed it, but we still cut down on the amount of competition that our pines are gonna have to fight with.
I'm gonna tell you, from the looks of things, I believe y'all gave us a pretty much unusual look of a tree plant.
Well, we want to give the viewer something that they hadn't seen before, so I got him to lay that bulldozer on the side where I could get the up close and personal view on the underside of the tree plant. No, actually, we were getting ready to plant, and he didn't swing wide enough coming in the gate, and his trailer fell off, and therefore the dozer fell off. But hey, when you're working with heavy equipment, you just got to take your bumps and bruises and go on.
Now Chuck, I've seen a lot of people plant trees in a lot of different ways. But what's the standard rule of thumb?
Well, you can plant them by machine or you can hand plant them. Hand planting is cheaper, but machine planting, in my opinion, does a better job because that bulldozer pulling that plow, it breaks a hard pan and lets these pines get a good root system going.
Well, once you decided on which method you're going to do, how far are the rows, how far spacing, what's the rule of thumb there?
You usually want to get between 600 and 700 trees to the acre, and that's going to put it on 6 to 8 feet between trees in a row and 8 to 10 feet between the rows of trees, and that gives you a good even spacing where your trees are not too thick, but they're just thick enough where you're going to have a good stand.
Well, with that kind of spacing between the trees, you can get equipment in between them too when you need to do some work.
Right. If you got them spaced out enough, especially in old field sites, this we're not going to have to really worry about the weedy competition, but in old fields, if you space them out like that, you can take a 6-foot bush hog and you can cut down on the competition around these trees. It'll make them grow better.
Stay tuned. The Management Advantage will be right back.
Folks, we've shown you the construction of a winter food plot, and we've placed a lot of emphasis on deer. But turkey also benefit from this, and we don't want you to get bogged down thinking it's just for deer. Take a look at this footage and you'll see what I mean. Folks, we know this is a lot of information to digest at one time, But remember, we're only a mouse click away.
So any questions you got, don't hesitate, just let us know. If I have to stay up all night answering email, that's just what I'll do, because we want to help you gain the advantage through proper management.
See you next time on the Management Advantage.
Folks, we would like to hear from you concerning any questions or comments you may have for us. You can reach us through our website at www.wildlife-management.com. We will be looking forward to hearing from you.